This is S-4. Sit back, relax, and keep your eyes to the skies.
Greetings, folks, and welcome to S-4, where we talk about the serious issues involving paranormal and current events. Well, current events. Coming to you live from the S-4 headquarters in the heart of the Cascade Mountains of Washington State, here at our studio in Cape Horn, Concrete, Washington. So tonight we have Tony Lacroix, our astral team leader from FMP, when we had a team to discuss all things astral. We get asked a lot, honestly, on the show throughout the years about what is astral. So tonight, what was it, last month? Cole?
Sorry?
Wasn't it last month that we got asked a lot of questions about astral?
It was during the marathon.
It was.
I know we were all screwed up then.
It's it's time to have an astral show. We haven't done one in a while.
Yeah, the questions that we got asked, we honestly couldn't answer because we were pretty much in between
sleep and
we were on the veil. We were laying right over top of that veil.
Oh God. Yeah, Tony was here for part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was here for a little bit.
And you got to go to bed. Oh, anyway. So getting going here. And so I got to address something real quick because I know there's locals that are listening. But, yes, we are at a full burn ban still. I'll get clarification from the fire marshal's office tomorrow. And I will post it in the group tomorrow, as soon as I get confirmation. But just because the Clean Air Agency says that their burn ban is lifted, does not mean you can have a fire now. Because just because we had a little bit of drizzle and a couple sprinkles, doesn't mean we're out of the woods just yet. So, yeah. Tony, how you doing?
Not too bad.
How's the medical field
up there? Hopefully you guys are staying safe.
Oh, we are. Last night, I know the deputies responded to Forest Service Road number 17 to a possible bonfire. And they got there, and there had been a bonfire, but somebody probably had a scanner and said, "Oh shit, the deputies are coming," and they put the fire out and left because you could see where somebody had been. But yeah. So, yeah, as long as people are smart, which smart is lacking these days, you just don't have a fire and everything will be okay because it only takes a little tiny ember and, we're in a world of hurt. So, when did you start astraling? You started astraling as a kid, right?
First time I went astral, I was about 15.
15, okay. I thought you were a kid, but you didn't know what you were doing, obviously, because a kid wouldn't know what the difference between astral and a dream. Honestly.
Yeah.
So, what got you started on astral?
I picked up a Ray Buckland book way back when, and old Uncle Bucky had a section on it, and sounded interesting, and I was trying a bunch of things in the book, and that one just came natural. It was pretty easy for me.
Right.
So.
Good old Uncle Bucky. He put out some really good works. So what's the
first? Hard reading and really dry, but yeah.
Oh, really dry. It's interesting. So when we were running Desert Moon in Iraq years ago, I hit up all the authors I could think of to support troops on the pagan side in Iraq. And, DJ Conway, we became really great friends. E.D. McCoy was great. A lot of the authors were awesome, but Uncle Bucky said, if you go on Amazon, you can buy my books. Oh, okay. Well, thank you anyway. But anyway, interesting books. Where was the first place you astral when you got into it?
Well, probably the same place most people do, the room you're in. But once I started astraling, I was going to, check on different friends. I know we had an issue here. This entity changed the name, and I had another friend that did astral with me. They actually changed the road's name to Cook Road from what it was. And we went there because we noticed it was different. It was weird. So we went out there. It was a haunted house. It was a small road. And yeah, that's the first one. We had to deal with that, and that was my first step into astral combat. The gentleman that was with me, he's been doing it a couple years longer, and he showed me a few tricks to help him, and we were able to deal with the entity.
And that's when
everyone notices I avoid saying demon, because it wasn't a demon.
Right. Right.
Everyone always jumps to demon. You know how that is, Eric.
Oh God, yeah.
Let's not get on that.
But I do want to ask you, what do you see as the difference? Because everything is labels, it really is. But what do you see is the difference between a demon and what we call a malevolent entity? And how do you tell the difference?
Demons have a lot more intelligence, and they are a lot stronger. Malevolent entity, they're just sticking around. They're pissed off spirits.
They're feeling pretty insulted right
sometimes,
now. They're like, "Hey, we're smart too."
Yeah, but
reminds me of like a.
They're a lot more manipulative. How about that? They're a lot more cunning.
Right.
But that's stuff they deal with every day. They deal with in deals.
So they don't have the
different.
Who's more manipulative, the demon or the malevolent entity?
The demon.
Okay.
The demon.
They have more. I think too. Demons have more of an agenda. A malevolent entity, like you said, is more. They're just there to commit chaos, and they have more anger and hatred. Demons do have some of them do have the hatred side, but they step back, observe, and make a plan before they go in. Where the malevolent entity is just going to run in and do their thing.
Okay.
The entities are here for the short game. Demons are here for the long game.
Right. Okay.
They're in for the long haul. The years, not what's available now.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
If that makes sense.
And how many malevolent entities? And you and I have talked about this years ago. About we need to write an encyclopedia of malevolent entity types. There's creatures we haven't even encountered yet, just based on different dimensions and different areas of astral. So there's a lot of confusion between dimensions and astral. How would you explain that?
That's a good question. So,
Would you
astral,
see?
you almost have.
Would you see?
You almost have different planes.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to clarify. So, would you see astral as one dimension, or is astral completely different?
There's multiple pockets in astral that are completely different. There's different places that certain entities won't go to because it's like the rough part of town. there's certain places where they know if they go there, whatever entities are in that area, that's their area. So I'm going to say it's more like different planes. And then dimensions, I mean, you got fourth dimension. There's so many different things on dimensions you can go into. But I do believe they are separate.
Well, we got 3 hours to get into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you done any dimensional hopping?
I've been to a couple. My favorite one, and I've taken a couple people on training exercises there.
Right.
The way to get into it is there's like an old saloon. Once you notice the people there, they're not really people. And I only take them to the saloon. We don't go down in the basement and go farther.
Oh, come on.
But the people around there are a little bit rougher edged, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay attention to yourself. You got to pay attention to your surroundings. You never know what's going to happen there. And there is entities there that will try to make a deal with you. Don't take the deal.
No.
So they like to gamble.
So what happens if you take the deal?
Yeah, what happens? The red, blue, or pill? The red pill or the blue pill?
Well, they're going to want to wager, and you guys will come to terms on the wager, and I hope you win the wager.
Right.
It could be anything from a favor to, your soul, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It depends who you're dealing with.
And so it's kind of like one of those devil went down to Georgia things, where he's like, hey,
Yeah.
I'll beat you at this, you give me your soul, or I don't beat you at this, you get to keep it, that kind of fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, similar to that.
It doesn't sound like a very good deal. You just get to keep your.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Like,
Well, you got the golden fiddle, too. I mean, come on.
See, you've only been...
Well, you can counter wager. If they want a favor from you, hey, later on you owe me a favor. There's two sides to this.
So I want to...
Once you agree to it, you're in a contract.
So you bring up a good point, because that's kind of how jinn act. Do you see a difference? Because I know you encountered jinn when we were handling cases. Do you see a big difference between jinn and demons?
Jinn are more, and we talked about this on the show the other night. Jinn are more Middle Eastern based.
Right.
Demons are from a totally different place altogether.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
Now, do you see jinn as being more bargaining than demons?
Say that again, Eric.
Do you see the jinn as more of a not manipulative per se, but more making a deal?
I'm not sure because I've never actually made a deal with a jinn. Never had to. We found other ways to deal with them, and either way, we're talking very powerful spirits here.
Right.
Pain in the ass to try to remove. It's almost comparing an angel and an archangel, or a god and a titan in Greek mythology. They're both way out of our leagues.
Right.
Okay,
Well,
so
not out of our leagues, but
So you'd put jinn down as like more of an ancient race, and demons down as more of a different dimensional race, then?
yeah,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Well, it makes perfect sense. See, I think both are ancient races, just different dimensions, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I think
One
jinn...
essentially decided to stay here on this plane, and the other
Right.
one said, nope.
The jinn are more earth-based, if I recall.
Yeah.
Well,
Whereas-
the jinn came before us. That's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of
They're
that's kind of
Earth-based.
the issue between them and us. Is we're the usurpers that
Mhm.
kind of took their plane from them.
Yes. Yeah, I see them more. So demons can shapeshift, but jinn are more the masters of shapeshifting than anything. As far as the two of them go. And there's good jinn, there's bad jinn. I like anything, but when I think of jinn, I think of I Dream of Jeannie. That was
I wish
that
they
was,
looked
You think?
yeah, she was mine.
Well, not
Okay,
so
whatever.
much her, but her family, because her family, when there was an interaction, they were always trying to put the scam on,
Yeah,
or let the guy hang himself by.
or even Aladdin. Aladdin, maybe not good. I'm going to give you 3 wishes, but yeah, guess what's going to happen after you take the 3 wishes? They still show that part.
There was a really good Twilight Zone episode, the original series, where this couple wished for $1 million, and then the IRS showed up to take their taxes. Every wish had a
You see, yeah, I think,
balancing karma that
I
came
think
with
of
it.
more of like Wishmaster when I think of a djinn. I
Right.
think of
That's the
that
bad
guy
jinn.
that every single time you make a wish, he figures out a way to just screw you completely out of that wish in
And
every way.
Dennis says all jinn are good, but that's the wrong kind of spirit. Like that play of words there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you drink too much gin, yeah.
I like lemon gin. You guys don't have it in the States.
Oh
It
man,
takes me off.
Oh God.
that would be so awesome. Gin and tonic, and you wouldn't have to put the lime in it.
So getting back to your beginnings, Tony, your first time going astral, you're 15 years old. Did you did you see dangers there? I mean, go through your first encounter with astral.
So, well, like most people, you'll start off in your room just trying to leave your body, and did that, and then you get a little more, what else can I do? Where else can I go? And you start exploring. And then, so I got that down pretty decent, and I really didn't stick my nose in anywhere it shouldn't be, so I didn't really have much confrontation
Right.
until we found, like I said, that road. And that, back when I first started astral traveling, I had to focus everything. My friends would describe it as pretty much me passed out. I remember they told me they put me in the car because they had to get out of there for some reason, and they were taking corners, and they were worried my head was going to go through the car window. Because they freaked out.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, me and my friend, we're still back there, dealing with this. Yes, our bodies are in the car going away, but actually, we're still back there, and I was so focused on it that I didn't really pay attention. And at first, this entity, I couldn't even scratch it. It pretty much just laughed. So I was pretty much running decoy for my friend, because my friend could hurt it, I couldn't. So I was pretty much the decoy, the guinea pig, while he dealt with it. But then after a while, I started, paying attention to what he was doing, adapting, and towards the end, I was able to actually hurt it also. That's how we were able to beat it. Yes, I did wake up with some bruises there. Was it from the car ride, the seatbelt, or the window, or the entity? I could not tell you.
Okay. And we're going to get into more dangers of the paranormal, or of the astral here later on in the show.
So when you first started out, did you use a tether, or were you just free?
I've always been free. I've never used a tether. Never felt like I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like I said, when I first started astral traveling, it was easier for me.
Describe a tether for any new listeners that have never even heard of astral. I know some people are comfortable; they need to have that energy tie, so they can find their way back to their body. It's usually not an issue, but some people are scared. I get that. So, what's the reason for a tether, and why do some not need it?
So a tether, some people will grab an important object to them. You know, maybe their mom's locket or something special, and they'll try to astral with it. And pretty much it's a rope between you, or your astral you, and that item or yourself. And if you go too far out and you can't find your way back, just follow the rope back to your body. Some people like being more free. Don't need a tether, like going around, because with a tether, it's a rope between you and your body.
Mm-hmm.
Because with any rope, anything comes up to it, they can follow the rope either way. So I personally don't like one. I won't use one. If you're going to just astral for fun or to explore it, I'll use a tether. If you're going to do like FMP missions, do not use a tether. Unless you tie it to Eric's house or my house.
And, you know, and that brings up the valid point that you can follow your tether back to your body, but anything else can too. That's why I've never liked the tether idea. It's good if you're new.
It's a white beacon.
Right. Especially if you're dealing with astral combat with entities that you're removing from someone's house, and they can follow your tether back too.
You answered my question. I was going to say, if you have a tether and you get into a conflict with something, you know, it could be a Pyrrhic victory. You get them kicked out of there, but then they can follow your tether back.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your thoughts on possession? Have you ever heard of anyone astraling and having something take over their body?
A walk-in?
I think if that's going to happen, then it comes down to a battle of wills. Who's stronger? You or the entity. And it goes back to combat, but now instead of clearing out the house, we're trying to clear out the body.
Do you have an advantage because it's your body?
Well, I would say you do, because who knows your body better than you? No one. Mm-hmm. No, they're wearing the skin while you are, that is you.
And I would agree with that, but I think it also goes back to how strong the entity is as well. It depends on what you're dealing with. So how many entity types do you, in your rough guesstimate, do you think there are?
I knew you were going to ask this question. I was actually sitting there trying to think about how many we've seen over the years.
Right.
And I can't even put a number on it. Because, I mean, like you said, there's some ones we haven't even seen yet. They're still forming.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not even forming. They're hiding, and they just haven't revealed themselves. I'm not going to sit here and say I've seen every entity in Astral. I would be lying to everyone. Not even close. I'd probably just barely scratch the surface.
Well, and you figure FMP's the emergency response team. We only actually worked from 2012 to 2019, 7 years at the rate of cases we did a day, and yeah, that does barely scratch the surface.
Well, I mean, I would look at it like this. I would say that, you know, so like our plane of existence, or Earth, think about all of the different types of life that we have here. And then for each of the planes of astral, it has X amount of types of entities or life or whatever you would call it.
And there's dimensions that are sealed off.
It could be an infinite number.
There's dimensions that are sealed off that humans have never accessed and shouldn't access. They have entities that have never been released before.
The other thing, though, is, Eric, most of our cases were United States, some in Canada, some in Mexico, some in England, some in Australia. How many in Japan or China? What type of entities do they have there?
We don't
I
know.
know
I think it's a safe bet that we may have done 3 cases in Japan or the Orient in general.
And you think in them 3 cases we've seen every entity that's in Japan?
Oh, absolutely.
I honestly think there's a big reason for that, though.
Huh.
Why would they trust you?
That's it. Right?
The Japanese culture.
The Japanese culture?
Yeah.
They don't go to their own.
Yeah.
It's hard for the Japanese culture to even talk to, let alone, or the Chinese culture for that matter. And I think, wasn't it?
I'm going to say hundreds of thousands of millions.
Right. And wasn't it you that went on the case in Israel?
We've had a couple cases in Israel.
Yeah, Israel and Kuwait. So we have hit Middle Eastern cases.
I remember Tony went on one in Egypt.
Now,
yeah, you went to Egypt too.
I've been to. See, and that's the thing. Some people have harder time on distance,
Right.
which is weird with astral. Some people, it's like we're going to Australia, and these are people I've ran with because they're FMP, and we're down there doing it. They're like, "Hey, I need to get out. I'm trained," and I know they've been in astral longer, but going that distance for them, it was more draining. To where others are like, "This is nothing."
Right.
So that's always been something that's been weird to me.
Have you ever astraled off-world?
So it's going to sound funny and weird. I thought about trying to go to the moon, but there's no oxygen up there. I don't know, the fear of...
I get that. No, damn right. Fred, your head's going to explode.
Yeah, I cannot muster the courage to try that.
Well, Ingo Swan did it and damn near got caught. Captured.
And yeah, what else is... There's a lot of stuff out there. This is S-4. We've talked about aliens and other things. I might go poking my head around in one of the asteroids and... Well, what am I going to find up there? Who am I going to find up there?
Yeah,
Then my wife's
to what?
Cheese.
I was going to say, then my wife's going to be calling Eric going, "What the hell did you do? Get him back here."
Yeah, Izzy, you gotta go to the moon. Find Tony.
Or
Yeah.
Okay, the wife's saying, "No, you can keep him there for a couple weeks and send him back." she's so nice to me.
To the moon, Alice.
Oh, okay. So, what is your most memorable experience in astral?
What was that?
What's your most memorable experience in astral?
Most memorable experience.
Yeah.
So, I think go back to 2012. One of my first, it was either my first or actual second mission with FMP. I cannot remember where the location was, but we were on a property. The woman's brother came up missing, and so they thought maybe someone kidnapped him, someone used him for experiments, who knows. They were freaking out. So I started searching, and I was like, and I found his trail, so I tracked his energy. And there was a cabin in the back of the property, deep in the woods. And they were on like 30 or 40 acres. And I was like, well, he's back in your guys' cabin. And they're like, what cabin are you talking about? So in the middle of nighttime, these people who don't even know me, just met me through Eric, are walking through their woods on the phone with me, and I'm guiding them to this cabin. They found the cabin. The brother ended up killing himself back there. But they didn't know this cabin existed in the woods. The brother was going back there, and they had no clue. He would disappear for days on end. They thought he was going somewhere else. No, he was going back to the back of the property. He found a cabin back there. Well, some stuff happened, and he ended up killing himself. But I was still able to get closure for the family, knowing where the brother actually was.
Right. And
and they, like I said, they didn't know it was there.
It gets frustrating, and that's one reason we did. 2019 was an interesting year in that regard, and that's why we shut the team down, because a lot of it was personality conflict between team members. The other aspect was burnout. I mean, you know, and honestly, we had probably about a 2-year turnaround, didn't we?
If we were lucky.
Yeah.
We had some interesting ones over the years.
Absolutely.
I think your turnaround got worse as you guys went along. Because if you think your turnaround was 2 years, that might have been at the beginning, but towards the end, it was 6 months at the most.
Because Astral, for one, Astral's not for everyone.
Well, you train them, they get mad and leave because they weren't allowed to do what they wanted, which was usually something bad.
Oh, yeah, you don't.
There's a reason we don't do that.
There's a reason we have protocols in place. There's a reason, you know.
Well, Tony can say there's a reason we don't poke certain things in Astral.
Not just that, but I got accused of not watching out for the safety of the team. Well, what the hell else are you supposed to do? We have protocols in place for that. But if you got team members that want to go...
Your protocol was to call me. What the heck?
What
about my safety? You don't care about me.
No, but when you got team members that are completely ignoring the protocols and going dimensional jumping and stuff when they're warned not to, no.
I can actually say that when, because I'm not an Astral member, I never was an Astral member, but I got to watch the chat rooms.
Oh, absolutely.
And watching you organize where people went and seeing your thought process almost on it. Like, to the normal eye, it would look like you don't care about Tony. But the thing is, Tony was one of your most powerful people, and he could handle the things that you were throwing at him. Whereas all the other guys were like, why aren't you using me? Well...
Because you ain't going to handle that case.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah.
And if you can't handle it, you're not going to send him in.
And you got to understand, too, I use military logic. A civilian's not going to understand military logic. Tony will, because Tony's military. You know, and honestly, I think... Huh?
I've done it my...
I'm a horrible person.
When you're looking at strategy, whether it's a paranormal case or a military operation, they work pretty in tandem. So, and I believe you were my only military member on the Astral team. Ever.
I'm trying to think who else was military. I don't think...
Well...
no, because Brent technically was military for a period of time.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So, I think that'd be it, though.
That would be it. You know, I'm thinking back over.
Was Richard military or no?
Yes, he was. But he didn't go on Astral cases. I think Richard went on maybe 5 cases. He did. He's not one we call on because he was the instructor. He taught Astral school, and that was it. He was Air Force intelligence. Brent was National Guard.
Megan
was a Marine. Yes.
Yeah.
You actually had quite a few Astral members that were military, I guess.
Yeah.
I know one that Eric doesn't like talking about, but I know Keith was Army also.
Okay, no, Keith was actually with you in Iraq, wasn't he? So, yeah, Keith.
Yes, he was. But, I mean, maybe 5 or 6, maybe 10 max.
Yeah. So, yeah, when you're looking... Here's my point. I think the big frustration for me was when we actually handled cases, and then you got the missing person. The missing person is the most frustrating of all of them, because I can have an Astral team member that tells me the exact location of where that person is, but what the hell do you do with it? If they're in Kansas, if they're in Australia, who do you tell? Because 1, you become a suspect. 2, no one's going to listen to you anyway because you're just a crackpot. You know, so.
And that's where they are right now. They're going to move them quickly, as they have, and now they go look and they're not there. Well, your information was wrong. Well, if you would have reacted, right then and there, not 3 days later. it gets frustrating.
It does. So, what was the point? And we tried to go into the missing person side, 3 different times over that 7 years. And we helped a few
never
people.
Worked.
We actually did find a few people. But
I mean, long term though, it never.
Yeah,
it never stuck.
The long term side of it didn't.
Even if you found them, you guys came out hurting a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's
Like
why we stopped.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so I don't even remember that case because that was 2012. That was 8 years ago. But that's the one that sticks in your head the most.
Because it was one of my first ones with you guys.
Right.
So, it was one of our... Yeah.
And that, I think,
way
too...
back when we first started.
That was probably for you a turning point that, oh my God, this stuff really does work.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were new
Well,
at it.
It felt like... It almost felt like, hey, I'm home. And you guys can't get rid of me yet.
Right.
I'm that weird uncle that comes to live with you.
No, but you were the one that stuck with the team the longest out of all of them.
Yep, me, Eric, and Bella.
Yeah.
Isabel. She can beat me later.
So, I'm losing my train of thought here. Let's see, is there anything you do to prepare yourself before you go astral?
I do a little bit. So, when I first started off, probably first 4 or 5 years with FMP, what I like doing is on YouTube, there was a 10-hour-long thunderstorm video.
Okay.
All it was thunderstorms. And that was always going in the background when I, started with you guys. After about 4 or 5 years, it was just more background noise than anything.
Right.
If I knew I was going to Astral, I'd say I'd pretty much try to get Bella to do my reports. Because I was not the best at doing reports. I got bored with them. So it's like, Bella, can you do my report for me? She's going to throw stuff at me next time I see her. I know it. Or beat me.
She's going to thump you in the head. Oh, wait. S-4 is not condoned use of thumping you in the head. Anyway.
That's
So
right.
what would you...
We shoot people. No,
What would you say to, like, a new person just starting out in the astral, like, before their first time?
Don't take off more than you can chew. If you're comfortable in your house, stay in your house. So you get comfortable with that, and you can stay in there for an hour, 2 hours. Then start going farther and farther. Don't try to automatically jump to Australia. Because you're going to get drained out, and it's not going to work, and you're going to get fed up with yourself.
It's also energy draining when you're first getting into it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is the longest you've stayed in astral at any given time?
Trying to think which one was our longest mission.
Well, and not even just that, but how many times have you come back from a mission and I'll see you right out on another one?
Yeah. I want to say 8 or 9 hours.
Jesus.
I know my most dangerous time astraling, at least to Eric, was probably when I was driving and astraling. He didn't like that. I got yelled at for that.
No, I've seen quite a few people get yelled at for that, actually. I believe that
It wasn't a
part
cell
of the
phone in my
ethics
hand.
class.
There's an ethics class? Oops. Bella probably did my homework for that one.
And I'm trying to think, how many cases have you done at one point? Where you're actually bouncing from. I mean, and I remember one case too where I sent two of our not so new but newer members that went to Australia, encountered a demon which they had never encountered before. Obviously, got sick. I told them to get back home, and I sent you in for that one.
His highest number I've seen him do is 4.
Huh?
His highest number I've seen him do is 4.
At one point?
Yeah.
In one day?
No.
Or at one time?
At one time, like he was bouncing back and forth in between, telling you what was going on for each one.
Yeah. And I think Canada was one of them.
It was getting hectic.
It was towards the end. And I laugh. I laugh every time when I remember that the case you did in Canada where the little girl spirit was trying to scare you walking backwards like exorcist.
Mm-hmm. Like, I've seen this movie. Get
right?
some new stuff.
Get the hell over. Yeah. So you before you travel, you listen to thunderstorm background. Is there any kind of cleansings you do or anything before you go?
I have always been horrible about that stuff. No, not really. I know I'm supposed to ground every now and then, and I try to, but I usually ground in the shower. I use water. Well, so go to back to my pagan side.
Right.
Scorpio, water element. Where normal people go to the treating ground, I go to the shower or swimming pool or lake.
Water.
And let the water just help ground me.
Yeah. And you know, that's anytime we had a boots on ground case here, I would take a shower. Same thing. Just a cleansing shower. And then I'd get ready.
Hi, Izzy.
Yeah, same thing. And it is in the chat room now. Hi, dear. So moving on, we have about 15 minutes to the first break. But what are some of the dangers you see in the astral?
So everyone thinks, oh no, astral combat's not dangerous or astral's not dangerous. It can be. Like I said, I've had cases where I come back with bruise or sore. So the next day I'm like, go to move wrong, and you got that pulled muscle or your rib hurts. You get hurt in astral, your physical body feels it.
Yeah.
Just the same. Thing with astral is you can get back to your body a lot quicker. Say if you're in a boxing ring, you're getting beat up. You want to get out of there, you raise your hand, you give up. Referee calls it. Well, in astral, there's no referee, but you can get back to your body and get out of that situation quicker. But you take a beating in astral, you will feel it the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about
it. So something that's come up in the last couple months is can you get COVID going astral?
No. That's like asking if you can get an STD going astral. No, you can't.
Right.
It's because in astral you put on a mask.
Don't get me started on COVID.
Next question.
Oh, what are some of the other dangers? Do you see some of the entities that are in astral as dangerous?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of different entities in astral that. So what I find funny is, we've had a couple people that they know how to fight, or maybe military. I'm a big bad Billy badass going to entity and go into Astral and get their bam smacked in the dirt by the entity.
Right.
You're not big Billy badass in Astral. It's a little different. You can transition some of the fighting styles, not all. If that
So
makes sense.
So with that, is there anything you've encountered that you just backed out of and said, nope, that's too badass for me?
There was one case, I think it was over in England, somewhere over there, United Kingdom, somewhere in that area. It was a demon. I'm not dealt with lower demons, no problem. This was a higher end demon. I got there and it's like, nope, we done. You know, what do you want? And it didn't turn into so much a combat mission. It turned into, what are you here for? What's the easiest way to get this without, too much havoc, too much damage?
Turn into a negotiation.
Pretty much. Because I knew if I was to go to fight, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Right.
So, I mean, I will not sit here and say I'm the biggest, baddest one in Nashville either, because I am compared to some of these entities, I'm a ant.
Right.
And this was one of them.
So, what we do find is, yes, we have astral combat, but I know there's been many cases where we actually did negotiate with either a spirit, which is, it turns into a negotiation between the client and what's in their home. Whether it was Aunt Gertrude that died and they didn't realize it was her that was in the home, or even just a random spirit that was in the home. It really just becomes a negotiation. The client and the spirit are both happy because that spirit didn't know they were dead. That person didn't know they were dead and that they're actually a spirit now. So they agree they're not going to terrify the family anymore. They're going to live together in
harmony,
a respectful situation. There we go. How many cases did we actually do a negotiation versus a combat mission?
A lot of chaos entities you have to pretty much negotiate, because anything you throw at them, they'll just dodge it and laugh. It's very hard to hit them. So you do a negotiation. And how many though? That's why I always had Bella do my reports, because I don't remember. I'll be honest. There's a few of them.
Well, at the rate of 5 to 10 cases a day for 7 years, it's hard to remember every case we've done. Just saying. Dennis has a question for you, just a weird question, but do any of those other side entities look like the front end of a dragonfly with mandible jaws and the rear end of a scorpion? Although they seem to shift form, so entities change form on the astral. Yes, there are shape-shifting entities in astral. But have you ever heard of a dragonfly with mandible jaws and the rear end of a scorpion?
So my question for Dennis is going to be, is this something you've seen somewhere and you fear? And the reason I ask this is a lot of the entities look like the thing you most fear, which is the reason why we get all those people saying, oh, it's a demon. Thanks to Hollywood, everyone fears demons.
Right.
That's not the case most of the time. Most of the time, it's just an entity trying to work off your fears, because to them, fear is energy. And they feed on that energy. So, and if you've seen this, Dennis, and it might not be you, it may be someone that was with you, they may have picked out this image of what is scary to that person or you, and hey, it's going to look like that, just to get that fear from you, to get that extra energy. They'll take
So-
that extra step. And then
So you're
appearing as the
talking
normal
kind
self.
of kind of
And-
like one of those Bogarts from like Harry Potter, where it just pops out and it becomes whatever you fear the most.
Right. And yes, many of the entities do actually or can actually shift when they're in astral. So they will shift to what your fear is. Yeah, well, very simple. Think of it. Everyone thought he was a clown, but what was he really? He was a spider. Or a spider creature. I mean...
Wasn't
I
he
think
like
in the book
three
he
lights
was.
or something?
I think in the book he was sort of just this evil entity. He took on
their
the
form.
spider aspect
Okay.
because it was what scared people. I don't think there was actually. I think the actual entity itself in the book was kind of formless. It took Pennywise and that spider form. Just
Right.
Like a non-corporeal being.
And now everybody's terrified of clowns. But yeah. Of course, most people have always been terrified of clowns to begin with.
Well, the whole idea of the clown evolved from the Harlequin, who was a character you'd be watching a play, and the Harlequin was dressed a certain way so that you knew who he was if you were the audience, but he would go around and prank and masquerade around the actors, and they would, they pretended they couldn't see him.
Right, and like that I said,
And that evolved into what we call a clown, and it's supposed to make you feel. A clown is supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, or that's how it originally evolved.
right. And like that I said, in it, they overcame their fear and saw the alien for what it was. So let's see, where are we at? So what's the difference, and if we have to, we'll carry this on into the second hour, but what do you see as the difference between dream traveling and astral?
I think astral, you have a lot more control and free will. And you can actually do more combat-based stuff. Dream traveling, dream walking, you're trying to figure something out. You're trying to go somewhere. If I'm understanding what you're asking, you're trying to find a solution to a problem. Whereas astral, you, instead of using, say, your guides to find the answer, you go out there and look for it yourself.
Okay, so dream traveling, for some, dream travel is where you can actually enter somebody else's dream and manipulate it. Would you see that as an astral dimension? Or what do you see as dreams? Do you think dreaming is a dimension where our mind goes to?
Yeah, I don't think so. Now, so normal everyday dreaming, where everyone does, or most people do, I wouldn't say astral. Now, if you're doing something to force your dream into someone's conscious, the way you're saying, I still wouldn't say that's astral travel. It might be a different type of spell work or magic.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Izzy says no, it's a completely different type of travel. But yeah, I know there's some that actually go into other people's dreams that can manipulate them, or actually appear in their dream and they see you in their dreams. So I was curious what your thoughts on that were, as far as if that was astral or if that's something completely different. So Dennis wants to know: can you bump anyone else out of their body for just a while?
I would say no. If they're in it, humans
Right.
cannot. Now you start talking other entities, and yeah, like Izzy's saying, as in helping someone that's astral or as in possession. In possession is what I'm talking about. There's other entities, obviously, we've seen cases of it. So yes, other entities can. If it's a human doing it, no. If you're meaning helping someone astral, yes, you can. You can kind of guide their astral self out. But usually the person's more willing and more wanting to, so they need that extra nudge.
Right.
Whereas in possession, they don't want to leave their body.
I think if somebody would nudge me out and that would show my inner doubter that it can be done, I'd be good to go. It's just trying to get that to that point.
And Dennis wants to know, or do some of the spirits or ghosts we see really astral travelers? Do they have the right to watch a shower?
Well, besides our FMP group and a group down in California, I think they were called Astral Wolves or something like that, or maybe it was one of them.
Yeah.
There's really no one to stop them or arrest them from doing it.
Right.
Essentially. So, do they have the right? No, but who's going to stop them? And unless you have your third eye open or you know they're there, are you even going to know they're doing it?
See, and that comes in. That comes into ethics, plain and simple.
He didn't take that class.
Huh?
Yep.
Tony didn't take that class.
Oh, we
Tony, I find you in my shower. We're gonna have issues.
That's one reason we had ethics class and set up a code of conduct in FMP. None of our team, huh?
Because of Tony?
No, Tony never did nothing. But yeah,
Hey, I'm a ninja. You won't find me.
But yeah,
Okay, let's
not
disturb.
everybody has ethics. No, and there's other astral teams out there, and it's a matter of ethics. You don't violate someone's privacy by watching them shower while you're in astral. No.
There's a lot of things you don't do. That was a long class.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of ethics to what we do.
Thou shalt not.
And with that, so we're going to go to our first break. And just to clarify, no, a human cannot possess another human's body. And that's a battle of wills.
That sucks.
Entities, obviously, yes, they can possess humans. Humans cannot possess other humans. There's... Honestly, I think there's safeguards set up in the human genome.
Yeah, built in subconsciously.
Right.
All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to our first break, and we will be back with Tony Lacroix.
You are listening to S4 on Spreaker.com.
You break, you're going down.
And welcome back to S4, where we're talking with Tony Lacroix about all things astral. And we were talking about ethics. And, so Izzy said she wrote out the FMP ethics list once. It did come to 4 pages. And the ethics class we taught lasted about 3 hours. And everything that we had to. So to me, an ethics document is a living document. It's always changing. It's always upgrading. And like I said during the break, everything that was listed in the ethics list was because some wonderful team member did something that we had to make an ethic add to the ethics list.
I ripped mine up when we disbanded because I don't want to follow those rules anymore.
Right? But you have to have, you look at so many teams that are out there still. Not even, we're talking boots on ground type teams that they got no ethics. Zero. They will go into a house drunk or stoned. One, giving the paranormal a bad name, and 2, opening themselves up to a possession or an attack, or their client's possession or attack. Then you got the ones that completely disregard private property, even public property that's closed, and just, break in and do their thing and whatnot. Just a couple of them. So... ethics and code of conduct are very important in the paranormal field. So, what is the strangest being you've encountered in the astral?
The strangest, or I'm going to say the red alien.
I just knew we were going to talk about that case tonight.
I don't like dealing with aliens. That's not my forte. They shouldn't be in astral where I'm at, but they can be.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He just hung up on us.
Oops.
Okay, so folks, we're having technical issues here.
We're gonna try calling him
quick.
again.
Yeah, you just should call him back. You hit the wrong button.
Oops.
Not nice to hang up on people, Tony.
So, I have a button on my headset that I didn't realize hung up the phone.
I've done
I
that.
love discovering new buttons.
I've done that before. If you have a button you don't know what it does to, don't hit the button when you
Or at least wait till break, man.
right. So
I didn't know it was there, though. That's that part.
So yes, the Red Queen. I remember that case. That was a very interesting evening. Oh God. So I would agree. That's probably it's interesting. So many people don't believe aliens even exist, let alone for you to encounter them in the astral. So how many races have you actually encountered in the astral that you remember?
Races of aliens?
Yeah.
Trying to count them. I haven't seen many. I want to say maybe 5.
So the
5 or so.
reptilian. So you've seen the reptilians, the Greys.
I've seen the Greys. Yep.
I believe the Mantids.
There's a couple I've described to you. I was like, hey, Eric, have you ever seen these? And you're like, yeah, those are... I can't remember which ones you said. Because for anyone listening, I will not sit here and say my knowledge on aliens is anywhere near Eric's. It is not. I know very few, and I know they exist, but that's never been my area of expertise.
Right. No, you're my demon and malevolent entity guy.
Yeah.
So I know you've encountered the reptilians, the Greys, the Mantids, the energy alien. I don't have a description for that one either. It's more of more of a heat wave looking race.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Predator. So yeah, the red, I call her the Red Queen, but yeah, the red reptilian was.
See, and I count that as a different one, also a different race from normal reptilians.
Well, the thing about the red reptilian is they are like the second in command of all the all that particular reptilian race.
Group. Yeah.
Right.
That's where I had to call Bella in for help.
Yeah, and that was really the turning point of that whole case, because we took out the red reptilian. They're not like U.S. military. We are trained to, if our leader is taken out, we step up and keep on the mission. Reptilians, on the other hand, in that battle, didn't know what to do once their leader was gone. So that was really strategically why we had to take that one out, because they become lost. And the fact that the red reptilian was even there was mind-boggling, because they don't leave their planet or dimension, whichever they come from. They don't. So I could see that being the strangest one you encountered. Did you ever astral when you were in Iraq?
If we were going to certain bases, yes. To kind of get a heads up. And on note, we were 5 for 5 on ID finds, and one of them was an EFP. And I helped them a little bit, be like, hey, because I was in the convoy commander's truck. I was with their truck back, so I wasn't lead truck. But it's like, I have a bad feeling. You know, if anyone over there has a bad feeling, you let them know.
Right.
Because you listen to your feelings. You listen to the whole team's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, I have a bad feeling on this. And I mean, like I said, we were considered hard targets. I was 5 for 5 on ID finds. One was an EFP. So an EFP scared me. They probably scared you too, Eric.
What's for clarification? What's an EFP?
Oh, so it's they use a weaker metal in the IED. It pretty much turns metal like liquid, and it'll cut through our armor. I can't remember the exact terminology. It's been, 13 years, 14 years?
Right.
It's a shape charge.
And for listeners that don't know what we're talking about, an IED is an improvised explosive device. These are devices the Iraqis used against us. They can be the size of a Coke can. They put them in dead animals alongside the road. They put them in garbage bags alongside the road. We encountered IEDs.
Garbage trucks.
Right. Well, no, those were moving IEDs.
Yep, VBs.
So, yeah.
Explosively formed penetrator.
Yeah, explosively formed penetrator. Yeah, these are going to be a higher... a higher charge. So, yes, when it hits metal, it's going to dissolve it, essentially. And what we encountered...
The metal's pretty much molten.
Right. And what we encountered in 0506 was, instead of placing them alongside the road, they would use garbage trucks and dump trucks and basically create a moving IED where they were dumping them out of the back of a truck. And whereas an IED placed alongside the road, you can go around it. It's kind of hard to go around something that's being dropped out of a truck. So the dump truck will be in front of the convoy and drop the IEDs out of the back of the truck where you can't really move. That's the difference.
Yeah.
So how was the military? So did you ever tell anybody you were astraling when you were in the convoy?
No. I'll do it on the mission. I'll do it like right beforehand. Mm-hmm. So like 6 hours before the mission, because they placed it there, different groups are running through there,
Right.
They could have already been used, or they may not have meant it for us. They could have meant it for someone else. So, and like you said, it could be trash bags. It could be something you don't even recognize.
Right.
And just because they didn't blow it up on us, doesn't mean the next convoy coming through, they didn't use it on them. So,
depends on
I'll
the
try to
target.
do it probably. Yeah, I'll try to do it 3 to 6 hours before the mission. See if I can find anything.
Mm-hmm.
And my group was pretty good. So even if I didn't tell them, I don't doubt my group wouldn't have found it.
Okay. So, okay, so this is going to make you think again, but in FMP, what was the strangest case you remember?
So Eric's going to shoot me for this one. Bigfoot living under a trailer.
Oh, yeah, but that was kind of proving that Bigfoot wasn't living under a trailer. That would be the funniest.
Yeah.
And that was my next question. So, what was your strangest case that you've done, and what was the funniest?
That one almost took the whole kit and caboodle on both those questions, because it's like, what the hell are you guys looking at? What do you got? No. We had to pull out. I think we did a hard reboot after that one.
We did.
Yeah.
Because, Bigfoot doesn't live under a motorhome or a mobile home. There's just...
No, it doesn't. Let alone a whole family.
Well, the thing is, I think the most baffling part was how one individual said they saw Bigfoot under a trailer, and instead of saying no, other team members went along with it. And that's when you have to do a reboot, because you have to question validity.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
the other thing is, though, one person seen it, and he was a respected member, so everyone's like, okay, he can't be wrong. So they started, they almost started seeing it, even though it wasn't there.
Like peer pressure?
yeah, pretty much.
Kind of, or almost like a thought form starting. And then I get there, and it's like, what the hell are you guys looking at? No, this isn't true.
Right. So this kind of goes along with what Kayla asked you earlier. Can anyone astral, and what would your advice be for someone wanting to learn?
Anyone but Eric can astral. We've proven this.
Both Erics.
But not everyone should.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some people that aren't meant to astral. They're not supposed to leave. And if you can't leave, or if you're not comfortable with it, you shouldn't do it. That's the bottom line.
No,
start
small. Start
right. Small, and I would agree. If you wanted to try it, stay in the confines of your home and go from there. But if you find to where you can't meditate, or you can't even get to a state of astral, that's an indicator that you aren't supposed to, you're not meant to. For the most part, anyone can astral. I'll say that. But sometimes you're not supposed to. If you've got... And like Izzy said, personal view, if you feel like you can't, if you're scared, if you don't feel like it's appropriate for you to do, then don't even attempt it.
My problem is I'm doing it without being able to control it. I need to learn how to control it.
So you need to learn how to control it.
It's like a muscle.
Right.
You don't work that muscle, you're not going to be able to do much with it. You got to learn to control it. You got to strengthen it.
Well, it's just like grounding. So many people think when you do a ground and shield, you do it one time, you're good. No, it's something that you have to work on. It's something you have to master. And a shield, for example, is something you have to build up many, many times.
Well, and it's just like anything else. Some people, things come naturally. And some people, it takes a lot of time and a lot of work to make it happen.
Right. So, and I'd also say, if you want to learn, find somebody that's astraling and has done it for a while. And, you know, same thing I say in the paranormal field in general. If you want to join a team, find a team that's been in the field for more than 5 years, because if you're in the paranormal field as a team under 5 years, you're a newbie.
I heard a kitty.
What?
I think I heard a kitty.
Did you?
Yeah, that's one of my cats.
Oh, okay. Okay. We're sitting here in the studio looking for a cat outside the window. It's like, but
It's Loki.
oh, right on. You have a cat named Loki.
Of course you do.
I had one when I was a
Crazy,
kid.
right?
One Loki and one Melkor.
So, yeah, finding an instructor to teach you astral, again,
Is hard.
it's hard, and you need to find somebody that's done it for a while and knows what the hell they're doing. That's really the bottom line.
I've been begging, nobody will do it for me.
Because you're not supposed to.
Yeah, well.
So what's the difference?
I'm not one to do if I'm not supposed to, that just makes me want to do it more.
Sad fact of life, for real.
So, okay,
I do
let's
the
talk
same
about
thing.
remote viewing. What's the difference between astral travel and remote viewing? And real quick, just to clarify for listeners who have never heard of remote viewing, and everyone thinks of the CIA. Remote viewing has been going on long before the CIA got a hold of it and said, oh, well, we should do a remote viewing program. We could spy on people. No, you know what? People have been remote viewing long before the CIA laid claim to it.
How do you think they made so many awesome topographical maps back in the day?
Like our wonderful...
What?
Topographical?
Right?
I said it right. Don't look at
So
me like
remote
that.
viewing, just to clarify, is the mental process of leaving your mind to go out and observe. There's no interaction. They are spies.
Let's see.
Go ahead.
That right there hits nail on the head. Where astral, you can affect things. Remote viewing, you're just watching it. And astral, I can see that stuff. And I can interact with it. I can do things. You know, if there's an entity there, I can do it. Go back to one of my first cases, there was a cabin in the woods. I could see it. I could lead the people through the woods to this cabin, to this exact location. Remote viewers could too. But if there's anything in that cabin, they couldn't do anything. They could just watch.
Right. And Izzy
that's
says
the
in the
big
chat room,
difference.
if you ask someone to teach you astral and they say no, don't get offended.
Can Bella teach me?
What? You already know how to astral.
I know,
She
but I
said
want to.
once you're on teaching.
I like poking the bear though.
Yeah. we get that.
God damn it, Tony.
Tony, stop hitting the button.
I did not hit a button that time.
You
Yeah,
didn't hit the button?
I did not hit a button that time.
Okay.
No, I did not.
Loki hit the
I blame it
button.
on Loki. It was
Loki
Loki's
hit the
fault.
button.
Don't blame it on the kitty.
Right. I'm going to blame it on Bella. I'll just say, anger her, and then all of a sudden it gets disconnected. Coincidence?
She's
I
the one that
think
said
so.
stop pushing buttons.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of incriminates her.
So I'm gonna let's finish talking about remote viewing. Then I have another topic I want to hit. Did you ever encounter any remote viewers when you were astraling?
I don't think I have. But then again, are they actually there? I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've been in the middle of a mission and it feels like someone's watching me. Is it the entity? Is there a remote viewer watching?
Right.
They're not actually physically there, so did I actually encounter them? No. Did I know someone's watching me? Yeah. And it's very similar. You're somewhere and you're like, your hair stands up on the back of your neck. You're like, okay, something is here watching me. You get that sixth sense, that natural sense, and you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
In Astral, is it a remote viewer or is it some other entity that's hiding? There's a few times I'm pretty sure it was a remote viewer.
Okay.
And sometimes, how do I explain it? So everyone has energy. Everyone has fingerprints. You can, if you're good, you can kind of follow fingerprints back to the people.
Right.
You can follow their energy back to them. So did I actually see them there? No. Were they remote viewing? Yes. There was one government group. Eric, I'm going to have you help pick details. It was right by the lake, or by a lake, over in Ohio. You remember what mission I'm talking about?
No, I'm not.
I'm trying to remember who all was there. I want to say 2017, 2018. And the whole group just all of a sudden, we thought it might have been something government, but the whole group all of a sudden got that itch like, okay, someone's watching us now. And we pulled the plug and got everyone out.
That wasn't my lab. No, my lab was in Kentucky.
Or was it Kentucky? Okay, somewhere. I knew it was around Indiana. That might have been it then.
Was that an alien case?
It turned out to be aliens and government working together.
Yeah, that was my lab.
Or they were both there. I don't know if they were working together.
Right,
But
and that,
it's like,
and that was government remote viewers that were involved in that one.
yeah. And I mean,
So-
we all at the same time, was like, okay, instantly, someone's watching us.
Mm-hmm.
We knew someone was watching us. It's like, okay, we're cutting this, everyone out.
Yeah. So, which do you find, this is an easy answer, but which do you find more, I'm trying to think of the word, which is better, remote viewing or astral? I guess it depends on your mission as well.
I'm going to say Astral every time.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I can interact, I can follow stuff, I can do what I need to do, I can deal with the problem.
And did you ever try to interact or communicate with a remote viewer?
Or
do you think
no,
you can?
Because well, if I hold up the middle finger, they're going to know what I'm saying. I mean, so yeah, I can. Have I ever really wanted to, though? I mean, it almost goes back to the ethics question. Why are they watching me?
Right.
What are they trying to see?
So, do you think...
I could...
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm switching up here. Do you see Astral as an asset in paranormal investigation?
Oh, definitely. So you gotta be careful though, because we may go on a ghost hunt, and if I go there ahead of you guys, I could scare away all entities.
Right.
And we don't want to do that. So you gotta be more cautious. You gotta mask your energy, not scare anything away. But on the same aspect, if there's something there that the team should not be investigating or could pose a threat to the team, you know about it.
Well, and that goes right
And you
along
can deal
with
it.
What I always saw was astral was the eyes in the sky. So if you're in the woods and you don't have anyone astral, you have a drone that's up in the air. That's your eyes in the sky. It's going to tell you if there's a bear or if there's a criminal element or whatnot that's going to be a threat to your team, versus a paranormal investigation where a drone's beneficial, but an astral team is even more beneficial because they're going to see the malevolent entity, and they might not be able to help with the physical side, but they can help with the paranormal side. So Dennis says, I thought a remote viewer does not really see as much as sense through flashes. Actually, remote viewers, Dennis, can actually see. That's why they're viewers. It's more than just flashes, and it's more than just senses. They're actually there observing.
And to add to that, Dennis, once again, it's a muscle. You may be starting off with just flashes, but if you practice it, you develop that muscle more. It gets stronger. You can start doing more with it.
So it smells like a dog in here.
Absolutely. So, can animals sense you and astral?
Oh yeah, I've had dogs and cats follow me around while I'm on an astral mission through the house. Cats are very bizarre too, but cats, they know what's going on. I still think, if cats were a little bit bigger, they'd take over the world. They're evil enough.
I would agree with that.
I think they already have taken over the world. I mean, seriously.
I don't clean anybody else's poop up.
Exactly.
Right?
They have it easy. They're just lounging around. They're like, yeah, don't touch me.
Unless
Go
I
up
tell
on a
you
table or
can
something and knock everything off. Do we
Right.
get rid of the cat? No. We pick it back up, put it back on there for them to knock it off again.
Yep.
Yep, pretty much.
Now, have kids ever seen you in astral?
I've gotten more reaction from kids than adults. And I don't know if that's because their minds are still open to seeing stuff.
Right.
Whereas a lot of older adults have pretty much shut it off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've had kids see me, and it's like I'm doing my, going through the house, working my case, and why is this kid watching me? Okay, this kid knows I'm there.
Is that because
No,
is that maybe because the pineal gland calcifies as we get older? Is why some of this stuff it seems like I had a lot more paranormal oomph back when I was a kid than once I got older. And it's not like I didn't believe in it. It just seemed like it got harder to do, and just it quit, like somebody turned the tap off.
I'm not exactly sure why. I don't want to pretend like I know why. I don't. I just notice kids know about it more than I do.
I think a lot of it has to do with your third eye.
Which is the pineal gland.
Yeah.
So once it gets calcified, it's just like having a cataract on your physical eye.
Yes, I can't think of the words to explain, but in a sense, yes. But I think there's a spiritual aspect to it as well. And not religion, but I don't know how to explain it. So Dennis is saying my cat always takes interest in something that's not there, then just and disregards it. That's not a bad thing. I'm going to say if it's something malevolent, your cat's not going to say meh. Your cat's going to probably respond.
Mine did that time you had to send the guy from Ohio to my place. That's what tipped me off something was going on, because he'd never done that before and hasn't done it since.
And Izzy says, so Markham, I think it's more because of self-awareness and training. You're taught not to believe in things that aren't explainable as you get older.
I don't know though. I don't know if I see her point, but it just seems like I was so open to it and was having so many experiences with it that it wasn't, it was like, to this day, I believe.
Oh my God,
It's just a matter of putting the belief into motion or something. I don't know.
I've always figured that it had something to do with the way that your synapses are firing when you're younger. Because when you learn anything, it's easier to learn it at a younger age.
Right.
And there's a lot of knowledge that we've learned when we're younger. Like, you can learn how to speak different languages, different things like this, and you lose them throughout time as you get older.
Mental elasticity.
Exactly. So I think it has to do with that, too, like the elasticity of the mind.
And, yeah, so she also said, as with most things of this nature, various practitioners of astral and remote viewing both have different experiences. I've known people that astral by feel rather than sight, or a person that had been blind from birth and navigated by vibration and sound. I think we use the word view more generically. Oh God, what was his name?
The one that did my case?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just know when the guy that described my house and
right.
everything, and then later you told me he was blind. I was totally.
Do you remember our astral team member that was physically blind, Tony?
Chris,
from Ohio.
Was it Chris?
I'm not sure if I
I want to say it was. I think his name was Chris.
Charles.
Because it was him and his girlfriend.
Charles.
Yeah, it was Charles.
Charles. That's what it was. I knew it was close.
Yeah, it was Charles. Yeah, so, and it baffles. I know it baffled Markham to find out that, the guy that was astral and that did his case initially was actually blind. But he could feel, and he could actually, if I remember right, could actually see in the astral.
He could see, because he described,
Yep.
And, I mean, this is early in our relationship, you and I's relationship, and I'm thinking, now how in the hell, being kind of,
Well, and that's the thing.
I wanted to look into it. I wanted to see, and I never did find, there's no place online that I've been able to
anybody
find.
can Google map a location and see
But
the
you
outside
don't
of the
see
house,
the
but you can't
but he didn't see the inside.
floor plan. So, that's when the scientific mind believed in astral.
Well, I already did, but like I said, it was early in my experience with FMP, and extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. Well, I got mine. No problem.
I think over the years we made many believers of astral.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I mean, I've done it. I mean, I've had, but I can't control it. I can't decide, well, I'm going to astral today. Because I try every day, and sometimes it happens, and it's just weird. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, what conditions cause this to happen? And there doesn't seem to be any set. It's just so random. There's no set condition.
And when you're taking someone that's physically blind but yet can see in another dimension or in another plane, it shows that your consciousness can change when you leave. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Well, it would seem to me that once you're free of the physical, then everything is mind. And if your mind says, I'm not going to suffer these limitations, the sky's the limit on what you can do.
Now, how do you explain? So, do you see in black and white, or do you see in color when you astral?
I see.
I see color. I know some people see black and white, and I've had others just see like energy, like outlines.
Why is that? Do you think it's an individual? I don't like using the
I'm
word.
going to go.
Go ahead.
I would say it goes back more to like a safeguard. It kind of protects the mind.
Okay.
They sensory overload. If they see too much, it might overload them. Like, it's the body protecting itself from that sensory overload.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I can see that. Or do you think they will gain the ability to see in color versus black and white as they improve?
Once again, it's a muscle. I mean, look at Charles. He couldn't even see unless he went to astral.
For those that are new to this, send us $49.99 and we'll send you the upgrade for black and white color.
How to see in color.
I gotta be honest, I've
She says
never
no.
seen the astral in black and white. Ever.
And Dennis says, I've startled accidentally 3 times in life. More than 35 years ago was last, but it was all blue and everything transparent.
Almost sounds like a dimensional hop.
A
vibrational thing.
I think he means astral. He's astral.
Astral, okay. I would agree with Izzy. It's just forms of perception. I would agree that everyone's experience is going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
But which would you prefer? Would you prefer to see in color, black and white, or energy?
Color. Any day of the week.
Well, that's what you're used to in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's more natural to me. Like, seeing in color than seeing in black and white.
Now, we never had the experience to try this, but do you think an astral person would be picked up on either EMF meter or a camera or some other device that paranormal investigators use?
That's an experiment we need to do because we have known, vetted. We need to set that up.
Maybe, I would say even if it wasn't a device we currently have, yes, because like I said, in astral I could track energies. Everyone has an energy signature, so there is an energy there. Whether it's a device we have that can do it currently, or is it some device that's still going to be developed? I think eventually, yes, if we can't right now. Because you're leaving energy signatures around.
I just had a show idea we'll talk about after.
Izzy took a comment. Yeah, only if they're lazy or sloppy. I'd say yes or no on that. If they're shielded, obviously they're not going to be seen. And I'm assuming that's what you mean by lazy. Just walking into someone's home in the astral with no safeguards, with no shielding or trying to stay hidden. Yes. I'd be curious if, and I can't remember the name of the camera, the one the Xbox put out.
Oh, the Kinect.
The XLR.
Yeah, the Kinect. Huh?
The Kinect.
I'm curious if the Kinect would pick you up as a stick figure if you were an astral.
No.
We need to try that.
It's been tested.
Oh, okay.
By who?
Huh?
By who?
A guy who claims he can go to astral, but I don't know if he actually can. But yeah, he actually tested that it does not pick any energy. It doesn't pick up energy. That is the reason for the problem with
seeing people of color.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
It has to pick up the actual motion. It doesn't pick up the energy.
Huh.
And that's what. So I think, like, unless, okay, so this is going to get a little bit more scientific then. When you're in astral, do you affect dust?
No. I mean, I could walk by different areas and, like, if you're smart, and I even said this earlier, I'm a freaking ninja in Astral. You won't detect me if I'm there.
So that's why they believe
my
that
goal-
ghosts do.
What's that?
That's why they believe that the Connect can actually pick up spirits, is because they do. Their energy is so erratic that it does pick them up. They do affect the dust around them, and that is actually what the Connect is sensing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question is, or my question though is, do ghosts care to not be seen? Are they trying to hide?
I don't think spirits can. Well, I guess they can. Can spirits shield?
If they knew about it beforehand, or they can shield to an extent. And the type of shield I'm talking about is we've dealt with spirits that were a lot stronger and a lot tougher to get rid of than other ones. So maybe not shield, but they had some form of protection, that some type of armor maybe, or something to protect them. I mean, there's some entities that it's just easy, and other ones wanted to, hey, let's fight. Let's go. Okay, you can go a couple rounds. So, are they stronger energy-wise? Or is it a shield?
Stronger will?
Yeah.
So much of this seems to be attached to will,
And that's where you'd find the difference between a common spirit, which was human at one point, and a malevolent entity, which oftentimes has never been human. Agreed?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading Dennis's comment.
Whereas malevolent entities, having never been human, would have the ability to cloak because of the nature of their being, essentially. So if they know the team is coming, if they know the client's called on help, things of that nature, we've known entities can manipulate electronics to where clients can't call for help on the phone because it's electronically manipulated. So I don't know if a human spirit would be able to cloak.
Say that again, Eric. Could a human spirit cloak?
Right, because how many cases have you gone on where you went in, you felt a presence, but you couldn't see it? You pull back out.
Yeah, there were.
Have you ever known?
There's a few.
Huh? So
there was a couple where. Go ahead.
But I think that's the difference between a human spirit and a malevolent entity. Malevolent entities can hide. They can, we've done many cases where we went in, we knew something had to be there, but you couldn't see it.
How much of that is preconceived notions that you take with you into the spirit realm after you pass, where it's like a human's going to maybe have, just through habit of being human, have limitations, where a malevolent entity that's never been a human doesn't have to play by those rules, doesn't even have a concept of the rules.
It doesn't have a rule book.
No, malevolent entities don't.
Yeah.
So, is there a way to gain evidence when you're astral and you're on an investigation? That's a frustrating part, because when we talk about the alien case, for example, people ask, well, did you get a body? Well, no. We were in astral. Now, were there physical bodies at the site? No.
Once again, I do more work with energy. So, in their energy is almost like a fingerprint. They're a trail.
Right.
So, we've had cases like this woman. She was being attacked by another witch. There was a witch attacking another witch. So I went to her and I found it was almost a curse, and traced it back to the person doing the spell. Was able to break it via the energy. And she had an idea of who was doing it, and I was able to confirm it. So that it was a former coven member that they kicked out, and he was just mad about it. So we've helped with that, and I knew it was the showman because I could track the energy. It was the same energy signature.
And so we're going to talk about shadows here shortly. So just for Seahawks are what, 2-2?
No, Seahawks are 2-0.
Oh,
They played 2 games.
So, announcement. Yeah, Seahawks won again, so we are 2-0.
We cripped the crap out of those cheating Patriots.
Hell yeah. Go Seahawks.
Oh yeah, my Dolphins are 0-2. What now?
They're losers.
Sorry about your luck.
Hey, when they, I've said it here now on S4. When they finally win a Super Bowl, I've been their fan this whole time. I'm not a bandwagon jumper.
That's the same.
Okay, but
that's the
at the
same
same
thing I
time-
said when the Seahawks finally got there. It's like
The
I've
problem
been with them since the '70s.
I have with that, Tony, is how you going to cheer as like a ghost? Because that's what, 300 years into the future?
Hey now. In the words of a movie, I got a particular set of skills. I will find you. I won't kill you, but I will make sure I haunt you 300 years in the future.
But the problem is...
I'm pretty sure that he won't be here 300 years in the future.
Oh, I'll find his ghost. I will find his ghost, and I will haunt him.
His reincarnation.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So that brings another point. So in Astral, can you time travel?
We've done a couple experiments. One of them was back to Lizzie Borton's house. And you can't affect anything, but you can see stuff.
So, do you think if you astraled back to the crucifixion, would Jesus know you were there? And would it piss him off that you were there?
At that time, could he see ghosts?
What?
I said at that time, could he see ghosts or spirits?
Well, technically,
Well,
he
you
can see
know,
all.
Right. So even the Bible talks about seers and psychics and whatnot, and it condemns them. But so I'd imagine, based on that, they did see spirits. Certain people could see spirits.
Oh, one of the apostles actually, I believe one of the apostles actually went to the Oracle of Delphi.
Yeah. And yes, as he says, S-4 Radio does not condone threats of haunting others.
Oh, it wasn't a threat.
It was a promise.
It was a promise.
Oh, it's okay if we do it within each other. That doesn't count.
Okay. Now we have a 5-page ethic.
Yeah.
thing.
Addendum.
Oh.
Yep.
We don't have a team, so we don't have ethics anymore. It's okay.
Oh, great.
S4 does not condone the use of ethics.
Use of ethics, yeah.
Right. Oh. So, I'm trying to steer this. And that's funny, yeah. So I said a Seahawks pop-up. Yes, Google listens. So I know
But we don't condone the use of them, Izzy.
Oh, man.
So I know, the stronger you become, especially when you're astral, there are ways to manipulate energy to where you can actually reach in basically through a curtain and manipulate the physical. Have you gotten to that point?
I try not to. Some of these people are having a hard enough time dealing with what they already have, and let's not add more to their stress or frustration.
Oh, agreed. But have you ever tried it?
I have not actually. I just haven't seen the real need to. I haven't pushed myself to try it.
Mm-hmm. Do you... So, we talked about energy drain when you're astral. Do you ever have to take a nap or, get some rest before you know you're going to go on a big case?
Maybe not when I go on it, but it depends what we deal with. There's sometimes I get out of it and it's just like, hey, Eric, I'm back home. Have a good night, and I'm out.
Right.
So, maybe not beforehand, but afterwards, definitely.
And is there anything that you found useful in increasing your energy level before traveling? Mine is drinking a Monster.
Wait, Eric, you're condoning Monster, not coffee? Are you sick?
I drink coffee. I don't drink Monsters. Personally, I don't like
I know.
The taste of Monsters. But Izzy and Kayla drink Monsters now.
Always.
Constantly.
The only reason I'm a fan of Monster, and I don't drink it but often, but when I went to Ozfest down in Charlotte, everybody else was trying to sell water for $7 for a little bottle. Monster had a truck, one of those trucks that folds out into like a salon. They were giving their product away.
Well, you did it wrong. You're supposed to take a keg to Ozfest.
No, they were stopping people from bringing anything in.
Oh, you keep it in your camp. It's fine.
You got to put it in your cargo pocket.
No. I saw a couple people got
What
turned
kind
away.
of cargo pants do you have that fit a whole keg in the pocket,
The
man?
good ones?
I need some
Have you
of these.
seen the EMT pants?
Right?
Yeah,
Maybe not a keg, but at least, half a...
Like a half gallon.
Well, we snuck some stuff in because one of the people I was with, his wife had a big purse, but it was a hot day and we ran out of that pretty quick.
It says Red Bull gave away 3 per student at her high school every day during finals week.
Cool.
And see, we need to contact Monster and see if they'll sponsor S4 because we push Monster.
But back to the question, Eric. Thunderstorms. Those always seem to amp me up, get me motivated and ready to go. And if I don't have a natural thunderstorm, like I said, just hearing that thunderstorm sound, it helps relax me and get me pumped all at once. That's my go-to thing.
And that's a form of natural energy that you're pulling off of. So that actually, in that regard, makes sense. Everyone needs to find their niche. I couldn't meditate for years. It took Native American drum music for me to actually reach a meditative state.
Music.
Yeah.
Because I had I mentioned this before, I had a CD, and it's Australian didgeridoo music.
Mm-hmm.
I can't drive with that CD in the car.
Mm-hmm.
It will trance me out completely.
And see, I tried everything. I tried Enya, because Enya is supposed to be the ultimate meditative music, but it didn't work. It only took, the only thing that worked on me was Native American drum and flute. Lakota. It was Lakota tribe that I actually used. And that was the only way I could achieve a meditative state. So with that, it is time for our second and last break. And when we come back, we will carry on with S4 and astral travel.
You are listening to S4 on Spreaker.com.
Welcome back to S-4 with your host, Eric Cooper.
And welcome back to S4, where we are talking all things astral tonight. If you have questions in the chat room, if you aren't in the chat room yet, it's real easy. Just look for the little chat bubble and pop in and ask your questions.
Yeah.
We're doing astral tonight because so many people wanted to hear an astral show. So here we are. So I'm curious, Tony. You back?
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered a Bigfoot while in astral?
I know we were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking about the ones in the trailer, obviously. Sorry, Eric. I have to.
Uh-huh.
But I know one thing me and you were talking about doing is trying to see if we could find if Bigfoot can essentially move into the astral. We never got around to that. And the way we were going to do that, for those listening, is one thing Eric does is they go out on hunts. He has some cool stuff behind his house up on the mountains. I was going to go with him astrally and find it. We never got around to that, and I definitely think we need to, though.
Oh, that'd be fun. We plan on going up the mountain anyway with some of the gear we've got. And for our listeners, next week we are actually talking all things scientific in the paranormal. What's the science behind ghost investigation? What's the science behind Bigfoot investigation? What's the science of UFOs? So next week, Markham's in the spotlight, and I know he's going to be doing a lot of research this week on some of the tech that we've got.
We doing the? When are we doing the?
We're not
Lake
going.
Monster?
We're not going to.
Okay.
We'll talk after the show.
So I can throw all my notes away.
Oh no, that's fine. We are going to do a show on Finney Creek and what are some of the theories behind what's going on up there. There'll be a show. What do you think, when we're talking astral, is there any kind of tech that you can think of that would identify someone in astral? So we talk about trying to defend or protect yourself against someone that might be astral that's coming into your home. What are some of the means do you think we could use to protect our homes?
I would go back to good old-fashioned shielding, hands down, any day of the week. And I mean, we practice this with our team, Eric. If you got a good shield, you're good to go. Mm-hmm. We would test people's shields. And you don't have to ask for the shield. People do certain things around their house. You know, they have stones around their house. They light candles. They have certain rituals, essentially, they do to shield their house, protect their house. Mm-hmm. You know, if it's an evil entity, and once again, depends how strong you are, you know, I believe it would work. Granted, there's certain entities, I don't care how much you shield, though, is going to protect you. If they want in, they're going to get in.
Right. And
or say if it's someone that was someone's house for 80 years, they pass away in that house, and you move in and you go to shield, you know, that's their home. You won't be able to kick them out of that house.
No, absolutely. That's where you go.
You might be able to find someone to. You might be able to find someone to help move them on, but your shielding methods aren't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you have an entity in a house, does the culture of the entity when it was alive, like say you have a Chinese spirit or somebody who's more a Taoist, would you need more like a Taoist priest or a practitioner of Taoism to move them on? Or, I mean, it's not a one size fits all, right?
No, what? That's the thing. It all comes down to respect. Honestly, if you recognize them, I mean, if you do your research and you find that it was a Chinese Taoist, for example, that died in that home, and you communicate with that spirit, and you verify or validate that is who it is. I think that's a big problem with a lot of paranormal teams, is they don't do their research. They don't actually communicate with the spirit. They go in with a Catholic priest to demand that they leave. They're not going to. They're going to laugh.
Or they go in with sage.
Yeah, they go in with sage, which is just going to piss them off. But you go in with respect of the spirit. You find out they're a Taoist. Oftentimes, they will leave on their own. They will pass over. That's the difference between a human spirit and a malevolent entity. Malevolent entity doesn't have a religion, or they don't have a culture. They don't have. That's when you have to go to combat and remove them, or in some cases, negotiate. Why are you here? What's the root reason you're here? You know, and then you go to the Fae. that's a whole nother scenario.
Oh, yeah.
So what about Fae in the astral?
Yeah, do you encounter or have you encountered Fae?
Oh, yeah. My favorite, least favorite, both at the same time, is brownies.
Oh, I love brownies.
So,
They're my favorite too.
So, a little bit about me. I'm what they call Lokian. Loki is my deity, my main patron. He's also Norse god of trickery and chaos and all the other fun little things. And brownies, they like mischief and chaos. So, I get along with them to an extent. And I like some of the pranks they play, but sometimes they do go a little too far.
Yeah.
So they're my most favorite and least favorite type of faith, all in one.
But again, it goes back to respect. So respect is good with anything. You respect the fae, they'll be your best friends, depending on what type of fae it is. Brownies, great in the home. Until you piss them off.
Yep.
And then they'll kill your
like
cows.
They like their little pranks.
Well, yeah, you piss them off enough, they'll kill your cows, destroy your vegetable garden, and burn your house down. But, yeah.
So do we think that that's what happened this year? We just pissed off the wrong brownies, so none of our gardens decided to grow.
It's possible.
You know?
No, I just chalk it up to 2020.
Right.
But, okay, so getting back, so Izzy says, and I completely agree, you don't have to be a holy person of any faith. You just treat the spirits with respect, treat them like a person, not a nuisance. That is the big factor. Don't do what Paranormal TV does and go in there and cuss them out and threaten them. And,
The provoking.
You don't ever provoke the paranormal.
I have always wanted to see where they do a provocation on a show like that, and something just knocks them on their ass. Yeah, I got you right
Without
here.
him being the director.
Yeah.
I think that you want. That's my pet peeve. Anytime somebody posted an FMP and they said, "Oh, have you called the Dead Files?" Hell no. Why are you going to call in entertainment for a real issue?
Right.
It's entertainment.
That's almost like trying to call a priest in. I mean, sorry.
No, to me, a priest is even more valid than a damn paranormal TV show.
Yeah, at least a priest has some spiritual knowledge and some training in that.
Until that priest goes in to confront an atheist spirit. That priest has no authority or command over an atheist spirit, for example.
Or say a pagan spirit, In the name of Jesus Christ. A lot of pagans don't believe in Jesus Christ. Okay.
Nope.
So, in the name of water. In the name of air.
I'm going to say at the same time, there's a lot of Catholics and Christians who wouldn't believe in the water or the air. So you would have
the priest
or the
in general.
Yeah, it comes back to respect.
I wasn't using the elements. I was using just in general. In the name of John or Tim. In the name of Tim, I command you. That's what in the name of Jesus is to the pagan spirit. It's nothing. It doesn't hold any weight. I guess water and air were the bad representation.
No. But what all I was saying is that if you were to have a Catholic spirit there, okay,
the power of Christ compels you would actually
mean something to it, and therefore it would hold the validity that the power of water or the power of Tim, as you were saying, would hold to the pagan.
Okay, so Dennis says if someone has experienced real paranormal, they just deleted it. They wouldn't want to provoke it, and no, you're absolutely right. And I'm going to go down that road. So, my biggest issue is people that watch paranormal TV and say, "Hey, Bob and Bill, let's get together and form a team." So they form their team, and all they see on paranormal TV, for example, is provoke. No, you're absolutely right. The client is never going to provoke. They're terrified. So they call in Billy, Bob, and Joe, and because they're a paranormal team.
Cletus and the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. And they come in, and all they're taught by paranormal TV is to provoke, so they do. And now they've pissed off the spirit or malevolent
It's all
entity.
about ratings.
Yeah. But a lot of these people that watch paranormal TV don't get that. They don't get its ratings.
It's entertainment.
It's entertainment. It's not real. Come on. And if that's all you have to base your team on is paranormal TV for education, and they go out and buy the exact same tools that Zach Bagans uses, not knowing how it actually works, not knowing really anything, because,
they're waving tech around in the air and calling it scientific research, which chaps my ass.
So now you've done, Billy, Bob, and Joe have gone in. They've provoked. They've pissed off the spirit even more. And I've heard of many cases where we've actually had to go in and clean up after those kind of teams. Because now you've done, and these are the teams that, oh my God, it's real, they run out screaming. And sometimes, in some cases, literally. And when the client's trying to contact them to find out what happened, they don't answer the phone. Because now they're terrified.
And there's a lot of times where they provoke things that they shouldn't have and end up actually hurting the clients a lot more than helping them in any way.
Or themselves.
That's where it gets worse, because now you've validated the client that, there actually is something there. We've proved it. And
now figure it out. Sorry, bye.
They've escalated that client's fear factor, which a lot of times these entities feed off of.
Yeah, we've pissed off your entity. Have a nice day. We got our EVP and our readings, so we're done.
And that's the difference between an emergency response team and an evidence team. Both have their places, don't get me wrong at all. Evidence teams are great. But tell your client that you're only here for evidence. You're not here to remove it or clear it.
Yeah, don't tell them you're going to solve their problem.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why it's a pet peeve of mine, because I can't tell you how many times I've had a client call in tears and terrified because, they call a paranormal team, but they didn't help. They got their picture and their EVP, and they left and said, "Yep, okay, we got our evidence. Have a nice life." And now we have to go in and clean up that mess, because not only have they pissed off what's there, made the client's life even worse. Where some of these clients actually moved into a hotel because they couldn't handle what was going on in their house.
Or they already invested their life savings in this house and they just abandoned it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're going in, we're cleaning it up, giving them their lives back. And the best part about FMP, and I don't know if how many people on here know this, we were always free of charge. We never charged a client a dime.
No.
And a lot of times people would be like, where do I pay you at? You don't pay us. Well, I want to give you a donation. If you want to give a donation, you can do it here to Eric. Anytime I got a donation, I always have him send it to Eric's house for FMP. And I don't know how many times, this group charged me $2,000.
Oh, absolutely.
To come in here, and it's like, we don't charge. We never have. We never will.
That's usually the third question I got. The first question was, the first comment was, "You're going to think I'm crazy." You tell them, "No, not at all." Not at all. The second was usually, "So can you guys help me?" And the third one was, "Well, how much is it going to cost?" And they're usually shocked when you say nothing. We don't take. And that's my other thing is we would never even mention donations, because the minute you mention that we do take donations to a client, what they hear is, they're expecting a donation.
Yeah.
And that's the same as to me as charging. So
Yeah, and the only time that you guys ever did take a donation for anything was if they offered it and said, hey, I want to make a donation to you guys for the gas money or for this or that you use to get here.
Because that's ethical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and by all means, it's not... it costs a lot of money to run a team, regardless, based on the tech, based on the gas, based on the time and the research, because some of your research sites charge money. So, yeah, there's nothing free to what we do, but we do it for free, if that makes sense. Because I remember a case we did in Port Angeles, for example, that we had to actually pay for a ferry charge and the gas and the meals we ate while we were over there. But do I bitch about it? No, absolutely not. It's helping people. It's emergency response.
Yep. And that's what we were there for.
Yeah. So, do you think the government will or already is using astral teams or even remote viewing to track terrorist threats or observe natural disaster threats?
We know they're using remote viewing.
They deny the program is still enacted, but yeah, I think that's a lie.
Well, we know we know for a fact they're still using remote viewing because we've seen the remote viewers in cases, and that's as recent as 3 years ago. I want to say,
so
2 to 3 years ago is when we actually encountered remote viewers.
Yep.
So we know they are.
I know they're doing at least remote viewing. Astral, I would say they would be more willing to work with other entities than certain astrals. It wouldn't doubt me, though, if they did have their own slight astral team as a countermeasure in case these entities decided to go rogue. They need something to deal with it.
I think that's my argument, though. Because, cyber threats are big right now.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't take a lot if they did have those teams, and that's my argument. If we had government teams, you would think there wouldn't really be much of a terrorist or a cyber threat. They would be identified a lot easier than they are.
The government agents, they do it, but they're not good at their job.
No, I get that. I get that.
Also, Eric, peacetime doesn't make money.
No.
No, I know. And that's where the corruption of the government comes from.
Military-industrial complex. Eisenhower tried to warn us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, they probably know about most of the stuff already because of remote viewers and astral viewers. But once again, if they went out and solved all the crimes in the world, there'd be nothing to solve and no money in it. Why would they do that? You wouldn't want to bankrupt yourself, would you?
Well, I guess the other thing, too, is it's a very large country. It's hard to have someone astral and remote viewing covering all the threats.
Why do you think there's so many satellites going up?
And it's not only country. America's the world police. How many times over?
Don't get me started.
I like poking the bears.
So, in Iraq, did you ever, when you were astral, did you ever see any entities or spirits in Iraq?
Like the jinn.
I wasn't looking for those because at that time, I knew not to.
Okay. Okay. You were looking for physical threats.
Yeah, so when I went to Iraq, I was, 20, 21, and I wasn't as... I knew where to pick fights. I mean, that's the thing in the military. The military teaches you. You're not always the biggest dog. Right. You think you're the biggest dog, the bigger dogs will come around and show you you're not. So I had my stuff, my own mission over there. So my mission wasn't to, spiritually get rid of all the jinn or all the other entities in Iraq.
Right.
So I didn't go looking for them.
No, our mission was to survive.
Yep, I did see entities. I kept my distance though, because I don't want to pick that fight.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that.
And it may
And
not even been a fight, but...
I was just curious if you had seen any. I've said it before, but yeah, I've actually got pictures in Iraq that were very paranormal, for lack of a better word.
Day.
Huh?
So 2 things. First one, still to this day, I swear we've seen a UFO over Iraq on one of the missions.
Mm-hmm.
We had no birds in the sky, and Eric, we could track that over there.
Yeah.
This thing was moving too erratic to be anything we had, and we were the only ones in the sky over there, besides aliens. So I'm pretty sure I've seen that. And I remember my very first sandstorm. I called over, or I got on the headset and told my PC, I was like, if I see a face in this sandstorm like I seen in the Mummy, I said, I'm opening fire with this 50 cal. I did not care. That gave us all a good little chuckle.
So did you actually see a face in the sand?
No, I did not.
Neither did I. I just, yeah. For folks that have never encountered a sandstorm, it's like a wall of dirt, and the sky goes red. And as soon as you see the sky starting to go red, that's when you head for your trailer. And I hope you're
unless
not
you're in the middle.
Huh?
So unless you're in the middle of a convoy, then
I've
driven.
I've been in a convoy in the middle of a sandstorm. That's not fun either, because there's a lot of holes. There's a lot of holes in a 5-ton. Sand finds holes in a 5-ton. So yeah, in fact, I think I have no, maybe not. I think I had a picture of driving in a sandstorm. But you think of the fog in Skagit County, or you think of the fog where you can't see anything in front of your face.
That was me getting out of here last weekend.
Yeah.
You all just about had a house guest.
Yeah.
The only reason it didn't is by the time I found a place where I could turn around, the fog was fine. In between the smoke and the fog last weekend, it was pea soup.
But that's dirt in a sandstorm. So when you watch The Mummy and you see the wall of dirt that's coming towards with the face, that is a sandstorm. And those are real.
That one wasn't.
Huh?
That one wasn't.
No, that one is very realistic. Minus the face.
Yeah.
I was about to say, if you saw the face when you were in Iraq,
we didn't see the face.
You guys were on some really good opiates.
Oh, they had opiates there too. Did you ever smoke a beanie when you were in Kuwait, Tony?
Smoke a what?
A beanie.
S-4 does not condone the...
Oh no, so beanies are interesting. Huh?
Ash?
Oh my
So
God.
beanies are little cigarettes. They're about 2 inches long. They're actually wrapped in a leaf, and they have a thread tied to where the filter should be, but there's no filter. They're filterless. And based on the color of the thread, I believe it was yellow was actually an opiate. And we obviously didn't smoke those. So we smoked the red thread ones because they were actually tobacco.
Sure they were. Sure they were.
Tobacco dipped
But
in
yeah,
formaldehyde.
Did you ever smoke beanies when you're in Kuwait or no?
No, I did not.
No? Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, they're Kuwaiti cigarettes. They're called beanies. So Tony says S-4 does not condone smoking opiates of any type. Absolutely not. We don't condone drug or alcohol, drug use at all.
Wow.
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 Unless you're smoking weed and it's, legal here in Washington.
Wow.
Oh.
So S-4 does condone the...
Wow.
Hey now.
Oh. Yes, Dennis, Turkish cigarettes, but no, these weren't Turkish, they're Kuwaiti, and they're called beedies. B-E-E-D-I-E-S, I think is how it's spelled. So my last question for you, and we'll just
though.
say again.
I said we did smoke a lot of Cubans over there.
What
Oh,
the
those
hell?
Like Cuban cigarettes on military base.
So my last question for you, and then we'll just wrap up talking astral for the rest of the show. But do you miss investigating?
Oh yeah.
So
I'm waiting for the. Hey, we're getting a team back together.
Okay, you
You
weren't
know,
gonna
I'm
die
not-
until just now. Izzy is gonna beat you.
What's that?
For none of that talk. Izzy's gonna beat you.
So do you?
It happens.
So some would say, and it's come up before, that for some people, astral travel is kind of like an addiction. They have more fun or have a better time in the astral than they do in the physical world. Would you agree with that?
Say that again. Sorry.
For some people, they'll find astral travel an addiction where they actually have a better time in an astral realm than they do in the physical world.
I could definitely see that. You get those, and Eric, you can help relate to this. Young medics, young firefighters, young police, young military. It's an energy rush.
It's an adrenaline. It's more of an adrenaline rush.
Adrenaline rush. Yeah, that's where I was going for. Thank you. And that is definitely the case in astral. You know, when you're doing the combat, it is definitely an adrenaline rush starting off. You know, once you've been doing this so long, you get your more seasoned medics. It's not that energy rush. You're not rushing to the scene of a splinter in the hand. You know,
Right.
they can stop, stand back, and look and watch. Same way with, you know, your senior military. They can stop. They can look back. They can see the whole picture, not just that tunnel vision. So I could definitely see where that would be better. And you're free. You're free to do whatever you want. I mean, who's all in astral that can... who's there to tell you can't do something? How many people are actually there saying, no, you can't do this? As long as you're not hurting anyone, you're free to do whatever you want. Go wherever you want. You know, you don't have to pay bills. I don't have a, as he's mentioning, you know, VR or video game addiction. I don't have to pay for a subscription or the console in astral. So I could see where if someone doesn't have anything going on in the real world to keep them here, yeah, it might be better.
And it's an escape from an unpleasant life for some, and I could definitely see that. Minus the things you might encounter in the astral would make that danger aspect of it. And again, the adrenaline rush side of it, of what you might encounter there. And I think that's where you need to put a time limit down. Okay, I'm going to astral for 2-3 hours, and then I'll come back to reality.
Yep.
So, do you still astral today? And what do you do?
I've gone to a couple places. I've cut back on a lot because, I mean, we were going almost every day on a case. You know, we had a mission every day, and it's like, okay, I do need to take a step back, spend time with the family, not get beat by the wife so much. She didn't glare at me, darn. I was expecting her to glare. Oh, she said she's going to beat me some more, but, you know, I do a little bit. I do miss the cases, though. But maybe after 2020 is done, we can look into that. Because right now, I don't know if I want to go do anything with 2020 sticking around.
So, when's the last time you astral? And I'm curious, have you astraled since within 2020, and have you encountered anything unusual?
I've only astraled, honestly, like 3 or 4 times in 2020. And it was one of them you sent me to someone, one case, a little bit ago. And the other 3 times, though, it was a quick in and out just to kind of work the muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to make sure I could still do it.
As far as us starting a team up, it's not going to happen. I really don't have the time to manage a team again. And again, based on 2020, when it comes to the physical emergency response side, that's really where our focus has gone versus running an astral team. So, not to disappoint you, but I will have your back if you decide to start your own team up.
You know me, that requires paperwork.
I know, it'd be your team, so you wouldn't have to do paperwork.
Can I borrow Bella to do all the paperwork? She'll be our secretary.
I'm going to answer for her. No.
Well, she said, yeah. I thought I heard yeah.
No, they've got their
too much stuff going on.
They've got their own business prospects they're working on without releasing any information.
Love you, buddy.
So if you had to look at, and this is going to sound repetitive, but I'm trying not to be, but if you had to, your choice of anywhere in astral to go, country-wise, where would it be?
Probably back to Germany. I love Germany. They have the Rhine River. There's like 200 to 300 castles along this certain 10-mile stretch, and the ghosts over there, some of the coolest ghosts. It's beautiful countryside. Yeah, go to Germany, take a trip down the Rhine. If you can astral, you will not be disappointed at all.
Oh, absolutely not. Germany, Germany in the physical is one a beautiful country. The culture is very paranormal receptive. The country alone is full of culture that's just awesome. I miss my Jaeger Schnitzel. Just saying. And currywurst and palmas. I mean, I got in this conversation a while back in our upriver group. Believe it or not. But yeah, just their food, their culture. So I would agree with you. And, being there astrally, to me, it would be a disappointment. Because I'd want to taste the currywurst. And I couldn't because I'd be astral. It's like, but what about Turkey?
Oh, hold on. Oh. Sorry, technical difficulties.
You went astral to Turkey a couple. Yeah. You're good.
Okay.
You went astral to Turkey a couple times, didn't you?
Rolling.
Huh?
So sorry, my dog decided to start rolling and pulled the cord on my headphones.
Bad dog. Bad.
We've been so many places. It's hard remembering everywhere.
Do you remember Turkey?
If you told me the case details, yes, I probably would.
Missing person case.
Let's see, we had the one where they were going up in Canada. There's one in Washington on the mountain. I don't know if I remember Turkey missing person.
Okay. You may not have been on that one. Have
you ever been to Ireland?
Yes.
Yeah, we've been to Ireland a couple times.
Oh, more than a couple.
And I'll tell you now, yeah, Fey magic over in Ireland is a lot stronger than here in the States.
You think it's
over in that
because
whole
more
part of
people
the
believe
world.
in it?
I think America is really watered down when it comes to culture. It honestly is, because one of the melting pot, you have people of all kinds of cultures here, to where there's not. It's hard to have a culture per se.
Yeah.
What do you think of Africa? Because I know you've done a couple African cases, and those are just crazy.
Got Papa
I'll
Bawa
take
over
Africa.
there.
So I'll take Africa over Australia any day. Just because everything's bigger and meaner in Australia, even in Asheville. I like Africa because it has a lot of culture. There's a lot of history and I don't know, like almost respect there. If that makes sense. I don't know. You can get through to entities a little bit easier over there.
In Africa?
Something else I want to touch base. Yeah, something else I wanted to bring up, in case anyone's wondering. We've been to all these places. You may be wondering, dang, Tony's a linguist. He can speak all these languages. Nope. I speak sign language and English. But somehow, for some reason, Astral, you can understand each other. Even if they're speaking, Japanese, whatever language, you can understand them. Or I can.
Do you
Now,
find
if I went to Japan,
do you actually so in Astral when they speak, is it telepathic?
I hear them normal. And it may be telepathic. It's just me thinking I'm hearing normal. So I speak sign language. I have friends that are deaf. And when if you ever seen a deaf person talk, they use their hands, but they also kind of sound out the words with their mouth. When I'm talking to deaf people, I can still hear what they're trying to say. So I don't know if that's helped it, maybe, or not. But I don't know. I hear what they're saying.
And it's basically in English. Or are they speaking their language, but you're understanding it?
Is it maybe going straight into the language center of your brain and being translated? Is it images? Is it words?
It's words. It's almost like a universal language. Because I'm speaking English and they can understand me. So, and we've dealt with older entities. Not every entity is, within the last 20 years. Okay, right. Now you go back 300 years, they had a totally different vocabulary. Even here in America, you've seen old actual historian movies. They didn't say, it. They say they, die. Can't pronounce it, but even with that time difference, I can still understand them perfectly. If that makes sense.
So, do you see in the future anything changing in the astral, or do you see do you see staying a constant? I guess. Do you see new things coming up in astral because of the chaos in the world?
With 2020 going on, nothing's for certain. We found that out.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think more and more people are going to start doing astral or attempting it or being more proficient at it. And maybe the government start doing more. And it's actually kicking off with larger groups, which is going to, in my opinion, it's going to bring out other entities that, like we talked about in the first hour, we haven't seen yet. Now we get too many people in there, you're going to get some easier praise. You're going to get people making the wrong deal with the wrong thing. And I see it's going to get worse. Because you're going to get so many novice people.
I could see that. So, looking at astral, do you, when it comes to, do you find certain times or certain seasons easier to jump into the astral than others?
So pagans believe Halloween, Samhain is the veil is thinner. It is definitely easier to astral around this time. So right around.
Do you find the astral fuller of spirits and entities during Halloween?
Oh yeah, I see more abundance.
Now I got a question for you though on that. Do you believe that that's because of the time of year and the history behind it, or do you believe that's because of the
expectations?
The expectations in the physical world, with everyone actually believing that everything's here and it adding energy for that.
I'm going to go with the second one. It's almost like them thought forms. You know, how many people think the veil is thinner around Halloween?
Right.
Some people truly believe it. They put that energy in it, which makes it easier.
And that's why, you know, I have a hard time with the concept of the veil's thinner Halloween. I believe more it's the expectations. Because we've proven with our caseload that our caseload doesn't go up or down at Halloween. It stays the same all year round. I would think if the veil was thinner, for example, that our caseload would go from 10 a day to 20 or 30 a day versus staying the constant of 5 to 10 a day. I think, honestly, there is no veil per se. I think if there's a veil, that it's only brought on by the perception that, oh, this is Halloween. It's the Day of the Dead. It's when all the spirits are coming out. Or demons. And so, yeah, you're going to have that expectation, and they are going to be drawn to it based on the energy that you're projecting.
And everyone's projecting it.
Well, yeah, society's taught you that.
Yep.
Culture's taught you that. History's taught you that. And most of it stems from Ireland.
So what do we got left, Eric?
I'm thinking.
You got about 10 minutes.
No, I'm sorry.
Hey, I wanted to do a quick...
You should hear the gears grinding and smell the smoke.
Yeah,
I thought I heard a smoke detector somewhere back there.
In this tired brain,
I wanted to do a quick shout out to Mr. Barry Gount and tell him happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Barry.
birthday,
Oh, wait.
Birthday, Barry.
1, 2,
No.
3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Barry. You're not listening anyway. Happy birthday to you. And many more. So yeah, that's
Channel 4.
No, Channel 5. But so happy birthday, Barry. I hope you get back on the show soon. And like I said, next week we are talking science and the paranormal. What is the science behind technology and some of this gear that we all get? Improving spirits are around, or even Bigfoot. I'll even go Bigfoot on that route. And UFOs.
So, one thing I'd like to bring up. It has come to our attention here at S4 that our listeners hate free stuff. They just don't like it. You guys don't like it. I don't know what's going on there.
We didn't get any art.
We didn't get any art. No one collected the 5 words from the thing. So, if you guys want the contest back, ask for them. Until then, we can't put the effort into that. We're going to continue to make better shows.
Yeah.
Can I draw a stick figure and send it in real quick?
No, you're part of S4, therefore you are excluded.
Oh. And for our listeners, don't forget, if you're local, National Night Out, October 6th. Come down and see us down by the concrete storage unit on 1st Street between 5 and 8 p.m. And we are having a free raffle. There's some awesome prizes that some of our local businesses have been contributing towards that free raffle.
Because they like free stuff.
Right? Absolutely.
I'm not bitter at all.
I think art needs to be clarified. So, yeah, go ahead and...
You want me to do the...
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Let me just pull it up here. Ladies and gentlemen, we here at S4 know that sometimes when dealing with the paranormal, what we experience cannot be properly put into words, so we are asking you, the public, to share with us your best paranormal artwork. Between August 1st and September 30th, we will be accepting your 2D artwork, which we will be then featuring on Facebook, Twitter, and on our webpage during the month of October. The host of S4 will then pick one to win an S4 swag bag valued at $75. All 2D mediums accepted must be 18 to enter. All artwork must be PG. No nudity, please. Entries should be submitted to s4radiowinner@gmail.com. That's s4radiowinner@gmail.com.
You know, technically they do have 10 days still.
They do.
So, Dennis.
Get him in.
If you, in the next 10 days, can draw up an art,
you win.
A picture, then obviously you're probably going to be the automatic winner because nobody else has submitted their art. So,
Dennis, draw your dragonfly with scorpion tail. You got this.
Oh, yeah.
And to all the people who have emailed us, stop it.
What?
I don't want to accept your uncle's frickin' money from Uganda. I don't want to be your boyfriend. Stop it.
Oh, good God.
Hey, wait a minute. What did she say? No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Dennis.
Oh, no, that would be cool.
Absolutely. Just submit that dragonfly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would like to see that creature. So.
Yes.
I would, too. And so, Tony, are we ever going to get together and come up with an entity encyclopedia?
We need to.
All right, then come on
We
back.
definitely need to.
Come on down.
So, yeah.
I guess it'd be over.
Come on over. Come on. Oh.
Yep. So with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap up, folks, again next week. And I can't believe it's almost October.
I know, right?
This month flew.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to all parents. We've almost made it the first month.
It's been 2
online school?
weeks.
Yeah.
We've gone to homeschooling.
Friend.
That's what we did.
Yep. Because, I mean, even these online academies just haven't cut the standards. And I get a lot of these schools are new to the online forums, and I'll give them that. But some of these schools have been doing it for a while and should have it down, and our kids still aren't learning anything. So we've gone to straight homeschooling. Just the only way to keep them from falling behind. So, thank you for joining us tonight, Tony. Been a great show. Hopefully it answered all the questions that anyone had about Astral.
Yep.
So,
and you can always ask Eric or email S4, and I'll definitely answer them if I can.
Yep.
Perfect.
Absolutely. And we'll have you on Roundtable in October. So with that, folks, have a safe week. We'll see you next week. And remember, keep your eyes to the skies.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight on S4, the official voice of Forest Moon Paranormal. You can contact S4 through our website at www.s-4radio.com or on Facebook. Make sure you give us a like on our page and join the Forest Moon Paranormal group. If you are interested in advertising, take a look at our packages and contact Cole or Eric at 1-360-999-2830. Again, thank you. And remember, keep your eyes to the sky.